Bitcoin. I don't know why I said anything about it. The blockchain is a technology, which is a good technology. We actually use it. It will be used for a lot of different things. God bless the blockchain. Cryptocurrencies and digital currencies, I think are also fine. JP Morgan moves $6 trillion around the world every day. We don't do it in cash. It's done digitally. If it can be done digitally with the blockchain, so be it. But it'll still be a dollar cryptocurrency. What I have an issue with is a non-fiat cryptocurrency. Dollar, so crypto, sterling, euro, yen, they're all fine. I don't personally understand the value of something that has no actual value. You all can do whatever you want, and I don't care. Okay?
All right. That sounds definitive. Bitcoin hit a new high today.
I could care less what Bitcoin trades for, how it trades, why it trades, who trades it. If you're stupid enough to buy it, you'll pay the price for it one day. I've also told people that it can trade at $100,000 before it trades to zero. So tulip bulbs traded for $75,000 once, something like that. The only value of a Bitcoin is what the other guy will pay for it. And I think, honestly, I think there's a good chance that Bitcoin, a lot of the buyers out there are up there jazzing up every day so that maybe you'll buy it too and take them out. And I quite mean that, by the way. These people are very good at manipulating the press these days and getting news out. And so every day, you have CNBC, nonstop Bitcoin. Who cares about Bitcoin? I mean, the world economy is so big. We move, JP Morgan alone, these companies, $6 trillion. We move all this money. And Bitcoin in total is all these currencies are $50 billion, maybe $1 billion trades a day. And the other thing I've always made of Bitcoin, governments, and this is not a technological statement, governments are going to crush it one day. Governments like to know where the money is, who has it, and what you're doing with it. And in case you haven't noticed, okay? And governments like to control their currency, like to control their own economy. So China's already put curbs on it. Japan, they say Japan accepted Bitcoin. No, they didn't. What I gathered Japan did was they call it J-coin. It's a yen cryptocurrency. It's not a non-fiat. There's a big difference. People have said legitimately, okay, it's close to gold. Not really. Gold is limited and has been around a long time, and it's close to a fiat currency. Not really. A fiat currency is where the government says this is your legal tender. You have to give it and accept it. And there's a central bank. Now, of course, they can misuse it, the central bank, and inflate it. So there is a use case for Bitcoin. If you live in Venezuela, North Korea, or if you're a criminal, great product. I mean that. It's better than cash or deposits in that country, Cuba, But this is the last time I'm ever going to answer a question about Bitcoin because I really don't care. I also pointed out when I made that stupid statement, which got all the thing, I called it fraud. My daughter sent me an email saying, "Dad, I own 2 Bitcoins." My formerly smart.
On September 12th, Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks, people listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.
He says it's a fraud.
It says he'll fire anyone that buys it. Yes.
And at the same time, his company is buying it.
His company is buying it.
So I'm sick of this stuff. We have to talk about it because the American people think the reason for inflation is government spending more money. Simply not true.
The United States being on hold, we are restarting cooperation between the United States and PRC on counter-narcotics. In 2019, you may remember, China took action to greatly reduce the amount of fentanyl shipped directly from China to the United States. But in the years since that time, the challenge has evolved from finished fentanyl to fentanyl chemical ingredients and pill presses, which are being shipped without control. And by the way, some of these pills are being inserted in other drugs like cocaine. A lot of people are dying. More people in the United States between the ages of 18 to 49 die from fentanyl than from guns, car accidents, or any other cause, period. So today, with this new understanding, we're taking action to significantly reduce the flow of precursor chemicals and pill presses from China to the Western Hemisphere. It's going to save lives, and I appreciate President Xi's commitment.
When I get into office, the first thing we have to do, social media accounts, social media companies, they have to show America their algorithms. Let us see why they're pushing what they're pushing. The second thing is every person on social media should be verified by their name. That's, first of all, it's a national security threat. When you do that, all of a sudden people have to stand by what they say, and it gets rid of the Russian bots, the Iranian bots, and the Chinese bots. And then you're going to get some civility when people know their name is next to what they say.
Accountability.
And they know their pastor and their family members going to see it. It's going to help our kids, and it's going to help our country.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Support this great content by hitting the Cash App and by joining the Patreon.
And a few years ago, guys, we had Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud, while JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley was the biggest buyers. And we know Morgan Stanley is behind Michael Saylor. But now we're seeing the big banks and big corporations come behind the curtain. And guys, we know they've been funding Bitcoin and crypto from the beginning. And we have Biden says government spending doesn't cause inflation. And we know we heard that from the Fed, Jerome Powell, Janet Yellen, and Biden. And what did we have? We had all this inflation. And then what did the Fed do? Raise rates to fight the inflation that they caused. We know they caused a problem, wait for the reaction, and run in with the solution. And we know this is all about the fourth industrial revolution. But guys, when the U.S. is broke, what do they turn to? The drums are beating and drugs. We know the banks are the biggest what? I'll let you finish that. And we had Nikki Haley had the nerve to say anyone on social media need to be identified. So what they say, they should be held accountable. Guys, we know the politicians are identified and they lie every day right in front of your face. They're paid puppets. And remember the crypto teacher told you. And we know who are controlling these bots, algorithms, drones, and robots. The same people who control the system now. We could have been got rid of bots, guys. We have too much technology. They want the bots to take over in order to control the minds of the masses. And remember the crypto teacher told you. And we have Mike Johnson coming out in support of Trump. And we know they passed the bill to the Senate in order to get approved. And remember, guys, this bill doesn't have all that spending in it. So there's definitely going to be a lot of cutbacks. And I'm going to do a video on that. I don't know whether I'm going to release it tonight or in the morning. But it's just a short video. But guys, it's very important because it's things that we don't look at when you're working, taking care of your family. But this digital transformation is moving fast. Now we have Jamie Dimon in Mexico. And guys, we know why he's in Mexico. That's cheap labor. We know they're going to be able to be sending cars from Mexico to the United States for free. And we know China is behind it. And we know the banks are going to be right there to benefit. But Jamie Dimon says inflation is not going to go away easy. And we know why, guys. Corporate greed. We got the Target numbers, but guys, Target has been down the whole year. And then, of course, we get Walmart tomorrow. But Target and Walmart lets us know where the consumer is. But guys, we know the consumer is in bad shape. All you have to do is go to the Fed website. And of course, Jamie Dimon says America will be fine. But then, guys, we know he always ends the sentence with all the things that are wrong. And we know that's the reason why America to Babylon is going to fall. And we have Senator Mullen calls a labor union leader a keyboard thug. And we know these unions are nothing like back in the day. We know, again, they've been paid off. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, the key to a union is to get job security. I'd rather keep the same pay knowing I'm going to have a job for 20, 30, 40 years. They no longer do that, guys. Yes, you may get higher pay, a little better benefits, but majority of jobs have gotten rid of the pension, went to 401k, and you can get laid off at any time. And like I said, I'm going to touch on that in another video. And guys, we have China Xi signing up the U.S. corporations. And we know these corporations are going to sell us out. because China and the emerging markets are about to rise, and America to Babylon is about to fall. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Mentioned President Biden. It looks like the candidate in 2024. When you were a name speaker, a lot of people said, "Oh, Trump ally, big Trump guy, big Trump ally." But you, as far as I know, you have not endorsed the former president yet for 2024, and this is. Everybody's watching this show right now. If you're going to do that, this would be a great time to do it, Mr. Speaker. You ready?
I have done it. Yeah, I have. I have endorsed him wholeheartedly. Look, I was one of the closest allies that President Trump had in Congress. He had a phenomenal first term. Those first 2 years, as you all know, we brought about the greatest economic numbers in the history of the world, not just the country, because his policies worked. And I'm all in for President Trump. I think I expect he'll be our nominee. Yeah. And he's going to win it, and we have to make Biden a one-term president. We have to do that.
Right. It's two different things. I think the number is good today. Personally, I think people are overreacting to short-term numbers, and they should stop doing that because you look at all the adjustments that go into them, they're not completely valid. I think inflation is probably a little stickier than that shows. I think they're doing the right thing to pause for now. You know, they've raised rates a lot. You know, to wait to see the effect on the economy in the U.S., particularly as the fiscal spending, the excess fiscal spending is winding down and quantitative tightening is kicking in. But I still think you should prepare. They might have to do a little bit more, and I think people should be prepared for that, just as a kind of a risk management tool. And I'm afraid inflation may not go away that quickly. You know, I find it a little ironic that Fitch and Moody's are doing that today. So here's what I think: they are right to point out those issues. I would take polarization off. That's always been true in a democracy. But yes, we have far more debt financing. We've been a little profligate when it comes to that. But the market is pricing us as AAA, which I think is more right, and the market will be more right than the rating agencies. I also want to point out, I find this almost funny, they have a lot of countries rated AAA. They all live under the protection of the American military. And so I think it's a little peculiar that makes them AAA, but not America. So America will be fine, but we got to get our hands around these problems. They will not age well. The deficit's a lot bigger this year than we thought. There may be consequences of that, and so I think they're right to point it out.
But after you left here, you got pretty excited about the keyboard. In fact, you tweeted at me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And let me read what the last one said. It said, greedy CEO who pretends like he's self-made. Sir, I wish you was in the truck with me when I was building my plumbing company myself, and my wife was running the office, because I sure remember working pretty hard and long hours. Pretends like he's self-made. What a clown. Fraud. Always has been, always will be. Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me. Any place, any time, cowboy. Sir, this is a time, this is a place. If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big
Oh, stop it.
Is that your solution, everybody?
No, sit down. Sit down. Okay. You know, you're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
All right.
Can I
accepted your challenge, and you went quiet.
No, I didn't go quiet.
You
challenged me to a cage match, acting like a 12-year-old schoolyard bully.
$2,000 plate sort of dinner. And I'm just wondering who needs who more when it comes to U.S. CEOs and President Xi?
Well, you know, the table that she is sitting at is actually $40,000 a chair. So this is an American-style CEO dinner. She is trying to win back the hearts and minds of the investors and the CEO, and he's got a big job to do, and I don't think he's going to succeed.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books, It's Time to Re-Educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.